So it is finally time to do the brushless conversion on the SG1603. Let's get straight into it. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be doing the brushless conversion on the SG1603. Now I've been waiting a little while to actually get this done. I've been waiting for the parts to actually turn up from Banggood. They are finally here and we can finally get this build done. So let's not waste any more time. Let's have a quick look at the components that we're going to be using in this brushless conversion. Right then, so let's take a very quick look at the electronics choice that we're going to be going for on this SG1603 brushless conversion. First up is the servo. It's a JX servo 1181MG. I have used this quite a bit on the channel, especially when I've done the WL Toys conversions. I really do like these little servos. They do get the job done nicely. ESC choice, we've gone for this brushless ESC 35 amp. It's quite small and this should get the job done. Quite a sensible little choice. I know some people are using 60 amp ESCs, 120 amp ESCs. I want to give this little thing a chance because I do want to make this conversion, especially on this video, as easy as possible. When it comes to the motor choice, we've got it's quite a small race star motor. It's a 2440 6080 kV little brushless motor there. This thing is tiny, as you can see, but again, for this size of vehicle will work absolutely fine. Finally, onto the transmitter and receiver then, we've got our trusty Dumbo RC. This is the one with the built-in gyro. The receiver's got the built-in gyro in it, which I thought would be a good option to have, especially considering these are quite well known for being fairly unstable at speed. So I'm hoping having the gyro built into the receiver there is going to help us try and keep this thing in a straight line. Again, at this stage, I'm not 100% sure how fast I'm going to be going with this. I think on this setup, it's a fairly mild setup, as you can see. We should see a decent amount of speed out of it, but again, we won't know until we actually do a proper speed test. But yeah, that's the receiver choice. Now, I wanted to get this in blue. Unfortunately, it wasn't in stock in blue, so I had to go for gold. I don't think it looks too bad. It's just a colour at the end of the day. But yeah, Dumbo RC, absolutely love these things. I've got a few of these now. Good range on these, excellent range in fact. And obviously you can adjust your gyro gain and stuff from the transmitter. And yeah, overall, not a bad selection of electronics. Hopefully we should be able to get this thing up and running and see if it can give us a decent amount of speed. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get this thing converted to brushless. Right then, so this thing looks great. The conversion is now complete. Now I've brought you in nice and close because there's a few things that I want to talk about when it comes to doing the actual conversion, and there's a few things you need to consider before you go ahead and do it yourself. Now the first thing you want to remember is this comes with a really nice set of LED lights. Unfortunately, if you do decide to do this conversion, you are going to lose the LED lights, because we have actually got rid of the 3-in-1 unit, or the 4-in-1 unit that controls the LED setup, which means they are switchable from the stock transmitter and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, doing this little conversion, we have lost the use of the LEDs. Now, there's potentially a way to wire them directly into the receiver, which will mean we can switch them on and off from the Dumbo RC. That's something I'm going to look into, because I think one of the big selling points for these SGs is their LED lights and the fact that they're switchable from the transmitter. A lot of people really do like the LEDs on these things. Now, the next thing you want to look out for is the size of the shaft on the motor that you decide to use. You're going to need a 2.3mm shaft, and that is so that the stock pinion fits directly on. Now, if you do decide to use the stock servo saver on your brushless build, you may need to use a different screw, like I have here, for your new servo, and this is because it actually used a different thread. Now, that's absolutely fine, and that will work perfectly. This is an M2 screw. I can't remember the length that I used, but as you may have noticed, I have actually got rid of the spring that was on the servo saver. That's literally just screwed directly in now. I've got rid of the spring because I don't feel like we need it in this instance. We're only going to be going in a straight line. I really don't think we're going to be breaking this 1181MG servo anytime soon, which is why I've opted to go for the stock servo saver without the spring. And like I say, you may need a different screw to actually screw the stock servo saver on. Now, since we're talking about the servo saver, it also makes sense to mention the servo. Now, you may not have this problem, but I certainly did. When I fitted this and when I powered this on, turning left and right, the whole servo was actually moving. Now, that's because these things are quite powerful for what they are. This little plastic bracket, I don't feel is strong enough to keep this thing pinned down. So what I actually did was use some double-sided tape on the underside of the servo. I then put the bracket over the top and screwed it down. And the double-sided tape underneath, obviously, as the servo is stuck directly to the chassis, it does help and stop that from moving around a little bit. Now, you may notice I have got rid of the battery tie down there, and I am actually using a Velcro strap. Now, I like using Velcro straps when it comes to doing like brushless conversions and stuff, because it gives you a little bit more flexibility on what battery size you can actually run. I did manage to fit a 2200 milliamp 2S in this, and a 3S will fit absolutely fine as well, which is why I've chosen to go for a Velcro strap when it comes to securing my battery down. Now, when it comes to the wheels, I have gone for a slight upgrade over the stock rally tyres. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with these. If you want to use these and you're not really intending to do speed run stuff, then absolutely these are going to work fine. But I have gone for a set of on-road ZD racing wheels. I'll leave the link in the description below if you're interested in these. I think they look really, really good. They've come off of one of their 1/16 scale models. I don't know the exact model, to be honest. I don't know a huge amount about ZD racing. But these, they do have a slightly firmer compound compared to the stock tyres. These are quite soft, whereas these things are a little bit tougher, and they do feature a little bit of a firmer compound. So I'm hoping, and bearing in mind that they aren't as wide as the stock tyres either. That's going to give us less resistance on the road, which hopefully means more speed. Now, the one final thing I want to show you on this brushless conversion is the gyro. Now, this is the X6FG. This is the Dumbo receiver that features the inbuilt gyro, and I did briefly touch on this earlier in the video. Now, all the gyro essentially does, when this thing decides that it wants to slip and slide, as you can see there, you can see the gyro compensating. Now, if this thing decides that it doesn't want to go in a straight line and it does want to start sliding about, all the gyro will do is hopefully assist us in keeping a nice steady straight line. As you can see now, the gyro's set to sort of halfway. If I turn it all the way up, you will see that it does become quite aggressive. And it does help to compensate when this thing starts sliding about, similar to your stability control and all that sort of stuff that you would see on a real car. Now, I can see this being good and bad on this tiny little truck, mainly because I think this is going to be quite twitchy without even having the gyro on. At speed, I think it's going to be quite twitchy, and even very small movements, are going to make the difference. Now, I think it's a nice feature to have, because it could potentially help us if we turn it all the way down, or, you know, set it to sort of a quarter on the transmitter there. It does have a little bit of an input, and I'm hoping it does actually help us to achieve a nice speed. Now, again, like I said, it's a nice feature to have. If we don't want to use it, we can turn it off. So I think that's pretty much it when it comes to showing you this little SG1603 brushless conversion. We've pretty much touched on everything I wanted to sort of make you aware of if you decide to actually turn this into brushless. Now, I think having the gyro is a nice function. When we go to do our speed runs, which should be in a couple of days' time, we will see how that actually performs, whether or not it actually makes a difference. And if it does, you know, then that is great. Hopefully we can achieve a nice speed out of this. So there we go then, the SG1603 brushless conversion is finally done. I think we can all agree this thing looks fantastic. So the plan is to actually take this out and see how fast it is on 2S and 3S. That'll give us a little bit of an idea of how quick it actually is. Then if we want to go faster, we can make a few changes to try and achieve a higher speed. Now, I have no idea what this is going to give us, to be fair. We're obviously running different wheels and tyres on this as well, so I'm hoping we can get a decent speed out of this. So guys, we're going to leave the video there today. I hope you enjoyed seeing this little brushless conversion. If you have any questions, feel free, leave a comment down below. This is a very popular little truck at the moment. A lot of people are buying these, and if you're considering doing a brushless conversion, I really do hope this video has helped you. I will leave a list of all the parts used on this build in the description down below as well, if you want to go and check those parts out. And if you have anything else you want to ask me, like I said, feel free, leave a comment down below. We're going to leave the video there today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again soon on the next one. Take care.